particular series.
It really is. And of course, he hasn't even played in the United Kingdom for just over 2 years.
That's right, yeah. So he's coming back now. The game is beginning to load up. The first map is going to be on merry-go-round. So a 3-player map, potential for a little bit more dynamic play. Maybe we'll see some of those very special builds that the analysts spoke about. For now, though, let's hop into the game. Spawning in the bottom position as the not pausing player, we will have a little bit of a break. So
he's typing something.
He's typing. All right, we'll go ahead and wait for that to resolve itself. Probably just like a keyboard issue or something to do with peripherals. In the meantime, guys, don't forget, obviously after the tournament, because you're busy watching us here, you as well can go ahead onto gfinity.net and potentially play against some of the pro players that are already signed up on there. You create a profile, you join tournaments, awfully quick. You can share it as well, completely free. And there's £30,000 a month. Think about that number worth of tournaments every single month, and you can join for free and just play in the same tournaments as the pros. It's a fantastic platform. We highly recommend you sign up and get involved. Really, really good fun. It looks like we're back in the game, though. So let's go ahead and take a look at the red Terran. Spawning at the 6 o'clock position on merry-go-round, playing for Evil Geniuses, the home boy, the Devil Terran. It is DeMuslim.
A nice clap from you.
And his opponent, no one saw that. Spawning at the 10 o'clock position as the blue Protoss player, incredibly strong, currently reigning European champion in WCS. But the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Representing my insanity, it's Stardust.
Yeah, and the map is merry-go-round. Of course, the 3-player map, so they don't know exactly where they do scout, or spawn rather, but we actually have a gas fist coming out of the Muslim, which is a little bit hyper-aggressive. Normally what this means is, of course, as soon as your barracks finishes, you can build a factory immediately. You have 100 gas. And most often than not, because of the, on top of the recent buff to the Widow Mines, Widow Mines in general are really good at keeping the Protoss honest. Like that's the way I like to explain it. If they cut any corners, if they try to do anything sneaky, they can straight up punish or kill them. Because you need detection.
You need that detection. You need that Stargate to be able to get that Oracle out, or you need that robotics facility to get the Observer. So you're absolutely right there. Getting that gas first from DeMuslim, he'll be able to put that factory down as soon as the barracks complete. Get that faster factory, get that faster starport. We could be seeing drops very, very likely here in the TVP sort of matchup. And you know what? Sort of moving in via his natural from the drop path here, he might also be quite happy with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a scout moving across the map forward the Muslim. And there's the factory exactly as we expected. And there are a lot of different things. If you add on the second gas, it could be something like Banshee, but that's not really that viable against a Protoss. And I'd imagine it's just going to be something like a Widow Mine drop or Hellion Marine elevator play. Because this base does have quite a large map. You can easily elevator into the main from just right to the main for Stardust. And Stardust is going to take his own Nexus off 1 gas, so he's not going to have a massive amount of resources. He should go for the Mothership Core next, there it is. And could go for the Warp Gate, or should go for the Warp Gate and then a Stalker. But you can, if you wanted, maybe save up and get a Sentry if you want to play more defensive.
So looking a little bit later into the mid and late game here, Huey. Stardust in these positions on this map, is there any particular PvT strategy that you think is perhaps maybe more viable on this map than it would be somewhere else? Is there anything special we might see? Or is this going to be as bog standard as can get?
Proxies are pretty popular on this map because they're really nice and easy to hide. Proxy Oracle is something that's very popular because there's that ridge just towards it exactly, right for that, which is an amazing spot for a proxy.
Funka knows. Funka's lost to this before. He's looked at the replay and he went, that guy.
I did. Awesome. And as a Protoss, I hope that was me who did it to him. We do actually have the Hellions in production, and it is a starport. So it looks like it's going to be a Hellion Marine elevator play, which is sometimes like 3 Hellions and a couple Marines. But there are, once again, a bunch of different variants. But there are no tech labs, no reactors, nothing like that. So there is no massive tech follow-up.
But at the same time, Huey, we've got the robotics facility coming down now as well. So we were talking about not cutting corners, making sure you get that detection up, just having that stable base of units you can build to kind of fend off the Terran player at this stage of the game. And it looks like Stardust is doing just that at the moment. He's playing nice and calm, very safe, adding 2 more gateways on after Robotic Facility. He'll get the Observer out pretty quick. Yes, this attack's coming quickly, but so's the Observer.
Yes, absolutely. Now, the fact that the spawning locations don't really help the Muslim that much because he has to fly all the way around towards that main base if that's what he wants to attack. And no, that doesn't get scouted close. And he is meeting up with the Hellions, so he's going to hopefully try and drop everything into the main. The Hellions run into the natural, fry everything there, and mix and match. Ooh, nice burrow. That's a great burrow. The Observer is so close to finishing up, so he does have to be careful.
He needs to bait out. He's trying to bait out the Photon Overcharge. There's the Photon Overcharge, and now he can go into the natural and say, hey, mate, guess what? There's a Widow Mine there. But it has just fired. That gives the probe safe package to go back up. Ooh, a little bit of a barbecue there with the Hellions. And now he's... Oh, this is... luckily, he's already got that Observer out, so this Widow Mine won't be able to stop him for too much longer. The question is now, though, what's going to happen at this Nexus?
Oh, wow, and a proxy pylon. How many gateways does Stardust actually have? Is he up to 3? So he could do some pressure with this. If he goes for Stalkers, he can easily micro against the Hellions and the Marines. And at the same time, of course, the units are over here. A probe is harassing the SCV, and the pylons soon to finishing up.
Nice.
But it looks like he uses the units to open defensively and deal with the Marines and the medevac. So actually quite a decent hold.
Oh, and the Mothership Core doesn't even go down there. It was a lot of energy away from a second Photon Overcharge, but actually it wasn't required. Stardust patiently waiting for a couple of extra Stalkers, and I guess DeMuslim couldn't run there, just tried to focus down the Mothership Core, unable to do so, and wow! This command center, this is the danger, ladies and gentlemen, of putting your command center on the low ground. You just need an SCV's worth of harassment, and it just slows everything right down. And with additional units here as well, DeMuslim, he might even be forced to cancel.
And if the bunker does get picked off, the SCV actually does fall just before it gets finished off, and this is a big deal. There's only a couple of Marines. The Stalkers can easily kite. This high ground vision has been granted by the Mothership Core and the Observer, and we'll see GG any second. There's nothing he can do against this. The Mothership, the command center is still not complete either.
There are 6, well, there are more Stalkers than there are Marines, guys. There's not too much we can say about that. There is the tank, there was the tank, and I'm afraid that is all she wrote. Stardust is going to take game number 1.
Just a tiny little mistake like letting that pylon into your natural and you lose the game. This is why they say Starcraft is such a punishable game.
You got a special build counted by, I'm not sure that was a special build, but it was certainly a special pylon.
That was just... it's not so much lucky. He was moving out to have pylons out in the map. He's like, hey, I'm being attacked. Let's see what's in the natural. And he just, why not? Like, perfect opportunity. Build Stalkers, gets them across the map, and then he can easily micro and kite the Marines. And
that was a very, very aggressive game coming out from DeMuslim, going at gas first, trying to push as hard as he could. And Stardust's response to that was effectively just playing unbelievably solidly. He said, look, I might try something funky later on, but until I do that, I'm going to get my robotics facility, I'm going to get my gateways up, I've got a decent core of units. The only thing I'm going to mess around with is maybe see if I can sneak a pylon in. That's not, that's not too crazy. That's not a ridiculous build or anything like that. He's playing it nice and safe, and on this occasion it paid off. So DeMuslim, maybe something to take into next game. Nothing wrong with going hyper-aggressive, of course, but the counter-attack was just crushing.
And I think there's also a couple other things that played into that. Like the SCV was being attacked on the command center by the probe that built that. And I think when he was microing that to do loop-the-loops is when the Stalkers and the Mothership Core attacked the units at the natural. And I don't think he was microing or paying attention. So they got picked off. He didn't have the units to pick up, come back home. And it snowballed.
It's a pretty difficult situation to be in, but at the same time, like we said before the start of the series, not much to lose, and he's very happy to absolutely go with aggression. We are not, I'm pretty sure, going to see a game from DeMuslim where he plays it incredibly safe and tries to consolidate and squeeze out his opponent. He wants to go in there and absolutely hammer Stardust with something he's not expecting. So we'll see what happens there. Looking forward to it. Any predictions for game number 2? Do you think we're going to see that from DeMuslim?
Well, it's quite interesting that he went for such an aggressive build, but he's got nothing to lose. I thought he might do something a little bit different because he has been doing like a lot of one-base attacks like he did against Bunny earlier. I don't actually know what the next map was, so that makes it a little bit harder to try and predict. I
don't know. We'll get an invite soon and we'll find out. But I think it's very difficult to justify right now if you're in Stardust position what you want to be doing to switch up your play. It's not really the kind of position where you need to because you're just playing incredibly solidly.
He played perfectly standard and fair enough, he did lose 11 workers to that harassment. And that was a really well played out and executed harassment there from DeMuslim. You know, forced the photon overcharge in the main. Widowmine didn't even get spotted. He got like a couple of kills, and then the Hellions got some extras.
There's Stardust in his booth, looking pretty chilled out at the moment. Got his cup of coffee. Said he was feeling a little bit tired earlier, but he seems to be performing okay at the moment. The next map is going to be Overgrowth. While we're getting that set up, of course, don't forget to check out gfinity.net. Incredibly easy to go ahead and sign up. Just create a profile, take part, and get involved. £30,000 a month, and they're what put on this fantastic tournament here. So go ahead and mingle and play with the pros. They're not there at the moment because they're here, but give it a couple of days, head on up, and you'll see them there as well. So lots of fun stuff to do, and very easy to use, actually.
It's a little bit complicated for the Starcrafters to make a profile because you have to make a squad first, but once you do that, it's pretty straightghpence. And
signing up to tournaments and stuff
it's easy,
it's so easy.
On average, for the whole year, it costs £20. If you did one, it's £2.50 a month.
Yeah.
But for example, like Patience has won the last 3, and they're £200 tournaments. So he's won like £600 in the last week. And it's like, £2.50 charge to get into that.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so like there's loads of them. Grubby loves playing in them as well, and Bly as well.
Cool. Well, we are now going to be hopping into Overgrowth, ladies and gentlemen. DeMuslim has his determined face on. Let's see if that can make a difference here as he spawns as the Red Terran, playing for Evil Geniuses on the top right-hand side of the map. Ben Baker, DeMuslim, ladies and gentlemen. He goes up against an incredibly strong Protoss player, winning game number 1 from a very, very solid base there, just sneaking a pylon in, that's all it took, looking for any small opportunity to put a chink in the armor. Will he find one, though? 2 games in a row. Playing for my insanity, it's Stardust.
Yep, and we're on the 2-player map now, so we're slowly downgrading them. Next map's going to be a 1-player map.
They're just going to spawn next to each other? It's like a 2v2 map where they're on the same island.
I thought he might do this.
Way!
I thought he might have something in this. Like he's just getting more aggressive as he goes on, isn't he?
He's got the second SCV, checking for a proxy first because he's like, hang on a second, my opponent could do this to me as well. But yeah, let's go ahead.
Let's go for them. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a standard. Is it going to be 11-11? No, 11-12. So. A little bit late, but a little more economical, so he can have some of the full back.
Yeah, 11-12, that counts as macro.
It does, slightly. Do you want to put a bet on? Do you think he grabs the boys?
Sorry?
Do you think he grabs the boys, the SCVs?
You know what?
I think he might.
I think he might as well. Come on, boys, let's go have some fun here. And Stardust at the moment, I mean, he did start, of course, with the gateway first, so just going to be chrono boosting some probes. He hasn't sent out a scout yet. So we'll see how long it takes for Stardust to spot this. He's got them in a position where I think they would just get spotted, to be honest, by the watchtowers. But Stardust isn't even beginning to head on out there yet. So I don't know.
He didn't really scout last game until it was too late, I believe. Or that's when the medevac flew over the probe.
Yeah.
So he's not early. He's going for the same type of build, which is a 1 gas expansion into your mothership and stuff like that. So, if the mothership core does get out, then he is in a bit of trouble. But DeMuslim shouldn't really give him the time, and he shouldn't really get enough energy to do it. And of course,
and there's the Nexus, and I think DeMuslim's going to be pretty happy when he sees that Nexus has gone down as well. Fewer units. The SCV, I think, just walked past it. The mothership core is coming out, but DeMuslim, he's going to have a pretty sweet little window here where he can try and do a lot of damage. The scout's going to come in.
He's going to see it. And the question is, does DeMuslim know that it's been scouted?
I'm not sure he does, but to be fair, he's going to be attacking in approximately 7.5 seconds anyway. Here come the boys. Bring the crew, ladies and gents. Let's go. Party hats. The crowd are clapping.
It's a conga line.
Let's see some action, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we came here for. The mothership core is on patrol. It doesn't have enough energy just yet. It's at 70 energy right now. And everything is getting pulled from Stardust. He knows how absolutely critical this is. The bunker going down inside the main base. The SCV will get taken out, but so many probes already gone. And here comes the party.
Yep, and some of them are going after the Nexus in the natural, which is not a good idea, as he does need to do this. And the mothership core is getting so close to pick up. He needs to pick this off. And that should pretty much guarantee him a very cost-efficient trade here. It's getting so close. He's
90 energy. He needs to hold out for just a moment longer, but the
And he
Marines
knows-
are in the bottom.
And he's gonna get it.
No photon overcharge.
GG.
GG! Evil Geniuses DeMuslim draws arguably the loudest cheer of the crowd today as he ties it up 1-1 against Stardust. He's saying, guys, don't forget about me. I'm here too, and I'm happy to be right in the thick of it.
Yeah, and if DeMuslim does win this, he is second in his group.
If DeMuslim does win this.
Yeah, 2 wins for Bunny, 1 win for DeMuslim, then 0 wins for Stardust.
That's right, yeah. We would end up with a situation where Stardust ends up being the player that goes out. So all of a sudden now, a lot's riding on this last game. He's smiling. He knows what he just did.
That should be a little confidence booster for him as well. He knows he can, fair enough it was a 2x, but he knows he can win.
So what's great about DeMuslim's play as well, I've spoken to him about sort of the way he reacts to games before. It's really difficult when you get into the kind of position as a gamer where you win games, but you win games in such a way that it's like, oh, I'm glad I didn't lose to that. And when you lose games, you go, oh, no, that was so stupid, and you're just beating yourself up all the time. That kind of mindset is really, really dangerous. It just makes you that's the kind of space where you go, I need a break. DeMuslim has basically been in this kind of space.
Yeah.
And to see him win that game against Stardust and that wry smile that we saw in the booth, I actually think means a lot because he did that and he knows he enjoyed it and he knows it was cheeky and he went, yeah, I actually quite like this.
And that's proper DeMuslim, isn't it? He loves it.
Again on Deadwing, he says, maybe not, but we'll see. Deadwing's going to be the 3rd map.
It is a 4-player map. Yeah, so...
so it's even more unexpected.
Even more unexpected, double proxy in the center. Well, it could be something like a proxy in the center of the map. Reaper, that is.
Less likely, but
less likely.
We can hope, we can see. DeMuslim, though, tying it up 1-1, keeping UK hopes alive in this tournament at the moment. Stardust, unexpectedly perhaps to many of those in the audience, is now also on the brink of elimination. Yeah. It all comes down to this one map.
Yeah, that is a huge point. That whoever wins this will be moving on to the next stage in the playoffs tomorrow.
Right, well, we're loaded up, ladies and gents, so let's go ahead and hop straight into the game. We're spawning in the top left position. Revitalized, rejuvenated, and fresh out of an 11-12. That definitely counts as macro. Evil Geniuses, DeMuslim. The crowd want him in the quarterfinals. They know how much this means to him. And I tell you what, he means an awful lot to this crowd as well. He's got one more task ahead of them, and that involves the blue Protoss player in the bottom left-hand corner of Deadwing. He is a WCS champion. He's no pushover, and he was the favorite to make it out of this group. Will he fall even further? My Insanities, Stardust.
So, 4-play map. Cheese or some sort of early aggression I don't really see coming out. On the other hand, it could be some sort of economic cheese. So it
would be like the most ballsy 11-11 ever.
Could be.
He just puts the 2 Raxes and hopes he's in bottom left. And it's like, let's go, guys, YOLO. Don't really think it's going to happen.
Well, thank you, Todd.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Todd.
I think there may have been some conversations going on before this game, and I think Le Todd may have been involved in some of those.
It's not good he's helping a Terran beat Protoss, man.
That's a bit controversial. I think he's going to get slaughtered for that on the analyst desk later. Todd helping the Protosses lose? What is this? He's lost his passion.
True douchebag.
It's gone. Unbelievable. But it's all right, Todd will explain it to us later. And yep, there is the Nexus first coming out from Stardust.
I was expecting something like this out of DeMuslim, be cheesy and then go for macro cheese. It works really nicely. But Stardust is going to actually go for the Nexus first himself. Of course, there is a possibility of a Reaper, is it? It should start in a moment. There it is.
There we go.
So, he can, on average, you should be happy with about 4 worker kills or something like that with the Nexus first. With good micro and stuff like that, they can get lowered or hired. But he should definitely be able to do some damage here. And,
Well, he's going to see the probe scout at this time as well. And that will probably tell DeMuslim that Stardust is not cross spawns, because that probe would have taken a little while longer to get to his base if he had gone clockwise or anti-clockwise from a cross spawn position. So now DeMuslim has a decision to make. He goes, am I going right or am I going down? And after he kills this probe, I guess we'll find out. The probe actually gets back just in time to see what's going on. And you know what? Stardust knows
smart play.
how important it is to keep that Reaper in the base as long as possible. So just sacrificing those minerals and saying, you know what? I can't defend against this right now, so I just don't want you out of your base.
Yeah. You know, it's only 25 minerals. Fair enough. The SCV's smart move to pull them off immediately to shut down so the Reaper can get across the map. Otherwise, you know, it takes longer, and for 25 resources, it's absolutely worth it. But he is coming down here. The Zealot is about to finish up, and of course, the Zealot will try and go for the Reaper and force that to target that, so the probes should be okay. But of course, Zealots aren't exactly faster than melee, so...
That's exactly right. So the Reaper now getting in, ignoring the Zealots entirely. Going to try and get a couple of probe kills here. The Zealot will get one swipe off,
but
to
be careful.
See if it's going to be enough. Great micro there with the probe so far, it has to be said, out of Stardust.
Yeah.
But the Reaper at the end of the day is still faster.
It's also very important to note that Stardust has walled off both sides of his nexus by the gas to stop the Reaper doing a run by around the minerals, so he can only pop in from one side. And you know that's the type of thing. You know, perfect building structure, placement and stuff like that. Like, the only worker kill is the scout.
Yep, no additional workers killed. Very, very well played there from Stardust. Really, really good micro, and a great Sim City in his base as well. I think we haven't been given enough credit for that, because that Reaper had nowhere to go behind the mineral line. It was just really nice building placement from our Protoss player here, and he should be commended on that. So DeMuslim, yes, he gets the worker kill, but that's the only one he's got.
Absolutely. Now, we do have the Robo being added on, and DeMuslim is going for 3 standard racks, so it looks like just pretty straightforward. But the concussive shell is in production, and he's not producing stim or anything like that, so I think he wants to do a little bit of a timing before the for the photon overcharge, force the photon overcharge.
Yeah, this is going to be huge. He's going to, I think he's going to go with probably the second Marauder that comes out here. If we see concussive shell out, and he just wants to lead the charge with the Marauders, slow down the units, try and separate the Stalkers from photon overcharge. And in this kind of position, once you separate, say, 3 or 4 units from everything else with that concussive shell and you pick them off, the Protoss army, obviously it's smaller as well, but it becomes even less scary than that, because ideally you just want all of those units clumped up. And, well, he's not even going to wait for the second one here, he's just moving straight in.
Yeah, he's actually scared of some sort of Oracle or something like that. He's rallying into the main, so... into the mineral line.
Wow, so he's trying to be prepared against everything, but it comes down to exactly how much damage he can get done with this initial push in.
Yes, absolutely. The Reaper's going to jump up into the main. Won't get spotted straight away, but is going to see what's going on. And here's the forced photon overcharge. He's going to try and target down the mothership core. He's going to lose a lot of units for this, and the Reaper's actually going to get a couple of kills into the main trying to dodge.
Wow, very nice, actually getting at least a worker kill, possibly a second one. Oh, needs to be careful there with those units. The Reaper's still alive and kicking inside the main base. Okay, now it's time to leave.
And should get one more before it gets picked off, and it will survive.
Oh, damn, MVP. That guy, that Reaper. Okay, that was a pretty good job there from DeMuslim, has to be said. 2-pronged attack, and now is he going to try and come back? Once the photon overcharge expires. He's not rallying any more units in. I don't think so. I think DeMuslim's gone, well, hang on a second. This is about as much damage as I can do. It's been a favorable engagement for me. So why not try and get further ahead?
Be careful here. Might want to target down the sentries. They're very expensive, guaranteed damage. They don't have much health, and the concussive shell does get that. That's great. Oh god, no, he won't get the second one. That'd be a big deal. The Robo Bay has been started though, and DeMuslim has instead. But actually, there we are. I was about to say the Reaper can easily come back in, have a scout, sees the Robo Bay, and now DeMuslim knows exactly what's going on.
Wow, this Reaper, man, I mean,
and he survives.
It
got an extra kill.
I think if the Stalker went all the way to the cliff, because the Reaper had to jump down, there's a chance he would have got an extra shot off, but Stardust just at the last second moved it into his natural, so we're not going to find out there. But yeah, it's a very, very fast Robo Bay coming down now from our My Insanity player, and let's see how quickly DeMuslim will be able to react to this. He, of course, has already seen it with the Reaper. None of this is going to be surprising to him. I expect after the first 2 medevacs, we'll start seeing a couple of Vikings hit the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, he did pick off the mothership core, so he knows that there's limited energy on this, and he's not starting his second starport. Normally you say second starport because, you know, you need the Vikings to deal with the Colossus.
Yep.
But because it's such a fast Colossus, there's not going to be much on the ground, so I think he's going to try and abuse the immobility. Drop into the main, drop into the natural, force the photon overcharge, and then you can kind of abuse the Protoss quite easily if they don't have many units.
Now to counter that a little bit though, we've got Stardust here going for Blink, so getting a couple of Colossus really going for those Blink Stalkers and go for a bit of a timing there. Dropping the third base now too. So wow, this Reaper, unbelievable. This Reaper is just so excellent this game.
Absolutely
Oh,
right.
whoa.
Oh
Whoa.
my God.
No, Bobby.
It gets
Bobby.
into the main.
Wow.
Oh my God, the units could. Do you just call him Bunny then?
I called him Bobby.
Oh, okay.
I just named the Reaper Bobby.
And DeMuslim.
This is impressive from DeMuslim. He's putting it all on. No, not the Reaper. Any unit but the Reaper. It looks
The
like it
photon
finally
overcharge
goes
is
down.
not that close. The Monstercat was not that close to drop the photon overcharge. He's going to pick up a pylon. He's going to kill loads of probes here. Why would Stardust do that? And there's the photon overcharge, forced them away, but that was a great little move there. I don't know how many workers, and he did supply block Stardust for the moment. He's killed 14 workers.
That Reaper, with his dying breath, drew away the Colossi into the main base so that the army could go into the natural. That is a really, really great play from DeMuslim, and I'm sure everyone here will agree as well. From what we saw earlier on in the day, it's like he's woken up. He's on another level right now.
He is playing fantastic. He's spotting everything. The third does get to try to get harassed here by Stardust, but he spots it out. But yeah, he's playing amazing. The fact that he got the third cancelled, he got a pylon in the natural, he got about 9 workers. And if he was a little bit faster, he could have got the Colossus as it was moving up the cliff. But so far, he's up like nearly 30 supply.
Exactly. Zealot run-bys, oh no you don't, says DeMuslim. And he's in a pretty comfortable position right now. But guys, don't forget, Blink has now completed for the Protoss player. Extended Thermal Lance is nearly there. We do have more upgrades on the way as well, so not all is rosy.
Yeah, we do have the double starport as well, with 3 Vikings in production. DeMuslim has loads of energy, he has his medevacts, he hasn't lost them, so he doesn't need to build that many, so he can just non-stop build Vikings and just wait for some sort of attack. He does know that there is a third, so it's going to continue into a macro game.
Yeah.
So of course, we're going to see some extra tech. We'll have to see the Ghost Academy get checked down as we probably see a Templar
On the
Archives get
forward
added
pylon gets spotted as well. Stardust did manage to get away with the pro, by the way, guys.
Oh, he's bringing the boys.
The boys are coming back. You know what, actually, they're probably not that excited to meet Mr.
Oh
Colossus.
my God, and Stardust is moving out in the center of the map. There's a lot of Vikings here. The Watchtower should have just spotted those units, but Blink is complete, so he could blink backwards and pick
This
up.
is it, guys. Everything is on the line. DeMuslim saying, I am winning big, or I am going home. Let's hear it.
And he's getting
This
ready.
is it.
He's got quite a few workers here. He's got 4 medevacts. Stardust is going to retreat the third base, knowing that he cannot hold this. And I don't think it matters anyway. This is just going to slow him down, buy him a bit of extra time. Photon overcharge has been deployed into the natural, so DeMuslim can pick up some units, force them into the main.
You know, even if DeMuslim sends all the SCVs back to mine now, he's still in a good position.
Yes.
He doesn't actually have to gain.
60 supply.
He's just waiting for a good place to take this engagement. He's waiting for the photon overcharge, deciding if he wants to get in. What kind of concave can I get here? And here we go, guys. Boys and all.
The SCV's coming down the side. The Stalkers blink forward to try and get some of the Vikings, but nice range and unit control here from Stardust, making sure he doesn't engage before it's too late.
He pulls back all the SCVs as well. He knows that he's there, of course, as extra meat shield, but that doesn't mean you can just disregard and 1A them in. Really, really solid play coming out here from DeMuslim right now. It's 193 supply versus 146. If Stardust can hold on when this attack comes in, he will be able to come back economically.
Oh, the positioning on the Vikings is amazing. One Colossus does fall. Everything's coming in from the side, and look at the supply of Stardust drop. And the 2 Colossus are soon to be left for this world. There's the second.
The Vikings, they're taking them all out. The Colossi are down. Look at how much bio is left to Muslim, guys. He's doing it. The UK homegrown
He lands
hero.
the Vikings as insult to injury, and all the workers getting killed off. The photon overcharge is going to be running out soon, and it looks like DeMuslim, as he kills the last immortal, will win the series.
The crowd on their feet. DeMuslim has done it, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. The WCS European champion is now out of the tournament. Evil Geniuses DeMuslim, after falling earlier today, has rallied back and defeated Stardust. That